That we're going to see an NBA player with $1 billion contract?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
$1 billion, Mark?
Yeah, but I mean, that presumes that TV keeps on going up the way it is.
Yeah.
But you're going to see $100 million a year here shortly.
Wow. Hey, what's going on, guys? Man, we're back with another reaction video. You guys love reaction videos, right? And we're back with a reaction video from Dorian of Group82.com. My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond. I've been watching Dorian for a while now. I originally watched him because he was an independent musician artist. And so now he does a lot of basketball analysis and reactions to what's going on in the college, NBA, and even Euro basketball circuit. So the video that we're reacting to today is the real reason NBA players make more than NBA owners. I don't like long intros, so let's get into it.
That we're going to see an NBA player with $1 billion contract?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
$1 billion, Mark?
Yeah, but I mean, that presumes that TV keeps on going up the way it is.
Yeah.
But you're going to see $100 million a year here shortly.
Wow.
Because if the TV contract has 10% increase.
Wow. We're going to see an NBA player with $1 billion contract at $100 million a year. That is insane, to say the least. $100 million. That's crazy. Woo! Wow. I'm thinking about that right now. What would you guys do? Let me know in the comments if you had any job out there or your own business that you got where it paid you $100 million. What would be some of the things that you guys would do? You know, would you take more trips? Would you buy more clothes, buy more cars, buy bigger houses? What would you do? Would you buy a country? Can you buy islands still? I remember that was a thing in like the 2000s. Oh, you know, he just bought a private island. Would you guys, is that a thing still, to buy private islands? Because if so, why not? Because if you can buy a private island, I'm wondering what it takes to, like, you know, have your own nation, to have your own country. Because then you can create a government, and then you got the finances, so you can create an economy. All you need next is health and a military. I'm getting too deep into it.
This is in the cap, the way the CBA works. Once that new TV money kicks in, they'll be making more money a year than I will. I don't care how many billions you have. Like, I don't have a real job, right? You know, and so I'm not making $100 million every year.
Right.
That's unique. They are the league, and they earn every penny of it.
Y'all wonder why I be on these dudes' heads. Y'all wonder why I scout and I coach and I get everything all set up the way that I do. Like, y'all wonder why this is. I mean, did you hear what he said? $100 million a year. And this isn't hyperbole. This isn't an exaggeration. When you look at the trajectory and how it's going to go up, we're going to get there. And in this video, I'm going to break it all the way down. I love talking basketball business. I love talking basketball money, because this isn't something that you have to wait for when you're 30, 35, 40, 55 years old. Cooper Flagg, a lot of y'all keep talking about him and y'all keep complaining that I'm criticizing him when he's 17 years old. It is November 2024. Cooper Flagg's draft is in 7 months. I'm talking about him like he's a grown man, because he is. And if Cooper goes on to be the star that y'all think he's going to be, he's going to be one of these guys that could possibly make $100 million a year. In this video, I'm going to break down how the NBA makes money and they're able to pay these guys as much as they can. It's kind of similar to how YouTube pays us. I'm going to talk about NBA's players' value to their league. And I'm also going to talk about how all of this connects to youth basketball. If that's something that you're interested in, if so, you should click like. You should click subscribe. You should send this video to somebody that is into anything remotely close to this. You either write in the comments about what you want me to talk about next. You need to click the links in the description, everything in there, and make sure you watch the video all the way to the end.
My ducks, my swans.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
Welcome to the pond.
My name is Coach Duck, and right here we're going to talk about how NBA players are going to make more than NBA owners. Number one, the collective bargaining agreement. What is the collective bargaining agreement? Also known as the CBA. So inside of the NBA, there's essentially maybe like 4 or 5 unions, but we're going to talk about 2 major unions. You got the Players Association, which is the union for the NBA players, and you have the Board of Governors, which is essentially the union for all of the owners of NBA teams. And every 8 to 10 years or so, the Players Union and the Owners Union, they come together and they agree on the terms at which they are going to work for the next 8 to 10 years. They collectively bargain an agreement on the terms, hence the name Collective Bargaining Agreement. You don't need to know the ins and outs of the CBA. If you want to read the entire CBA, it is available online. A person who really does a great job of breaking down CBA and has so for 20 plus years.
I didn't know that besides the NBA Players Association, I didn't know that there were other unions in the National Basketball Association. And I've been watching NBA since I was a teenager. I didn't know that.
Now, his name is Larry Kuhn. Yes, his last name is Kuhn. So go type in Larry Kuhn CBA and you will see it. And he does a phenomenal job breaking it down if you want to read the entire thing. But if you don't want to do that, you just want to kind of get an idea of what's the most important thing in there. The most important thing in a CBA to me is the revenue share. BRI, basketball related income. That is all of the money that they make off of basketball. So you're talking ticket sales, you're talking parking, you're talking merch, and most importantly, you're talking TV deals. Because just like y'all are watching me on YouTube right now in this video that I created at home and I own and I license it to YouTube for them to distribute it all over the world. And once YouTube sees that people are watching my video, they put ad breaks in those videos, and me and YouTube, we have a 45% ad revenue share. That's the exact same way that the NBA works. And if you are somebody who wants to grow your YouTube and get to 300,000 subscribers like how I am and close to 200 million views, click the link in the description for TubeBuddy. It's free. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. It's really helped grow my channel. Go down there, click it. If any of y'all have used TubeBuddy, write in the comments and let people know that it really does work. The NBA does the exact same thing. They have this great product that they own and they sell the rights to that product to Disney, which essentially owns ESPN, to Amazon, and to NBC. It used to be TNT, but now they're out of it because they didn't bid high enough. And whatever amount that they get, they split that essentially in half with the players. So this latest collective bargaining agreement, the NBA got close to $75 billion. And half of that, $37.5 billion, is going to go to the players over the next 10 to 11 years. That is a lot of money because there's only so many spots. There's only 450 spots. There's only 30 teams. And based off the collective bargaining agreement, everybody in the NBA doesn't get paid the same. Guys that are really important get paid the most. Guys that ain't that important, lucky if they can get anything. So therefore, these salaries are going to continue to go up. So when you hear about a supermax contract from a Jason Tatum, from a Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum just got $350 million. Luka's going to get $400 million. That's a lot of coin. And when you start looking at these deals going on for only 5 years, somebody eventually is going to make $100 million a year.
I think he meant to say Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum might have gotten, and maybe I'm just not aware, but Jaylen Brown got himself a heavy deal. Heavy deal. You can look it up if you want. But yeah, those TV deals, you know, as far as unions go, NBA has got one of the best unions, the Players Association, man. I think, speaking of Jaylen Brown, I believe Jaylen Brown, if he's not the president, he might be the vice president, but somewhere high up in the Players Association. And he fights, man. When Kyrie was going through his deal with the NBA, you know, Jaylen Brown did a lot of backing for Kyrie, and because some groups wanted him to do a whole list of things before he played basketball again while he was still playing for the Brooklyn Nets, I believe. And yeah, Jaylen Brown was like, no, we're not going to allow you guys to take advantage of our comrade. NBA Players Association is one hell of a union. Unlike the NFL, I've never heard of the NFL having a union, and if they do, I'm sure they hope and pray. The NFL hopes and prays that they never get a union like the NBA Players Association because because the TV deals, I would assume that are just the same. You understand? Like, I could be wrong, but I think more people in the United States watch NFL games than they do watch NBA games. I could be wrong. Please let me know in the comments below. But I say all that to say, like, NFL players you often hear, like, they're going broke quick, really, really quick, former NFL players. And I guess this, leads into the conversation about money management and financial literacy. But nonetheless, it's like, man, you'll hear average NBA players. And when I say average, obviously you're better than your colleague or semi-pro players. But players that, for a lot of, what do they call it? Fair weather fans, people that just watch the game whenever it's on, but not necessarily invested in the NBA. They might not hear some of these players, but they're getting $30 million, $40 million a year, $50 million a year, $20 million, even $10 million a year. $10 million. $10 million. $10 million a year. Even if you get taxed at 40%, let's say you go home with $5 million a year, $4 million a year. Even $4 million a year. I know guys that jump and scream when they get a job that pays them $5,000 a month. It's about $72,000 a year, not accounting for taxes. And trust me, they taking trips. They're taking trips. They're going to Puerto Rico, going to Jamaica. They're going to the Maldives. They're going to Hawaii. What's some of the places that you guys love? You travel vloggers, you guys love Thailand. Let's go to Bali. Now a new one that I see, it's not new, but I'm seeing a lot on my algorithm, is like Japan. Let's go to Japan. Instead of Tokyo, let's go to Shibuya. Some of these guys that make $5,000 a year, I'm sure they're like, let's take trips. Let's take some trips. So imagine you give them $4 million a year. I don't know what that is a month. I'm sure it's up there. I'm sure it's past $16,000. Because in my head, $16,000 a month. I'll let you guys do the math in the comments. But $16,000 a month is not $4 million a year.
Number 2, why do these guys make so much? Elite basketball talent is exceptionally hard to find. You might find somebody that might be good in a school, in a neighborhood, an AAU team, in a park. They might be able to get off right there. They might be great in college. They might be good in the Euro League. They might go off in the G League. But to be able to consistently be a superstar for 82 games, to be great with the media, to be great with kids, to do all the community service, to be somebody that lives a life that's exceptionally marketable.
Look at that. And the cameo that he has as he's saying, like, exceptional with the media, exceptional with kids. You got LeBron. I look at LeBron like the same way, no matter what your political affiliation is or what your political views are, they tried to do everything that they can to smear Barack Obama. Again, I don't care about your political views. You might not have not agreed with anything that he said. But this guy, like, he didn't have any scandals. He didn't have anybody coming out of the woodwork saying, like, oh, like he stepped out on his wife. None of that. Same with LeBron. For the most part, you don't hear about scandals from this guy. When he's in the club, especially after he wins a championship in Miami. When he's in the club, you don't even have the thought that, like, something is going to go AWOL. Unlike some NBA players, you hear about them like the night before they went to the club and now they're being investigated by police. Stay out the clubs. By the way, man, I know I'm a DJ, And I know sometimes I can get booked for clubs, but let me tell you something that my dad told me when I was a teenager: nothing good happens after 10 p.m. And for the most part, he's absolutely right. You know, when they say the freaks come out at night, they're talking about in so many spectrums, right? Like, man, so many people with whether it's mental health or they just have something to prove. Man, hey, I'm the king of this parking lot. Or, hey, you know, I'm the only one that can buy bottles in VIP. All of that. And then for the fellas, you know, I know this is a conversation about basketball, but let me spit for a little bit. Fellas, let me tell you something. Single fellas that I understand that, especially if you live in a mid big city. I call it mid big city because like it's cities like Omaha, Nebraska is a good one, right? It's a mini big city where it's like, sure, it's bigger than Sioux Falls, South Dakota and Des Moines, Iowa, but it's still not as big as Kansas City. It's definitely not as big as Dallas, Texas. Definitely not big as Houston, Texas, or New York, Miami, Vegas, LA. And so I say, like, oftentimes you'll find guys that will struggle with meeting women in these cities, and so they will often choose, like, I call it the easy route with going to the bars and clubs. And if you just want to go there to have a good time, that's fine. But if you're going there to like find a woman, nothing against the women. This is not the way that you think that this video is gonna go. It's just that majority of the time you're meeting women that are not there to give their number out to guys. B, they're also not there to. A lot of times you'll hear women, they'll be like, I'm not going out to meet a guy. And so, like, you know, the guy, if he's desperate enough, he'll just start buying drinks. And then he won't leave with a number, or he'll leave with a fake number, or he'll leave with her real number. And then he gets left on red and he gets ghosted. I say all that to say, stay out the clubs. When LeBron's in the club, nothing is going AWOL. Nothing is going bad. Everything is going great. And he's probably leaving way before 2 a.m. Shout out to LeBron, man.
To have corporate sponsors like Nike or like Chase, like Steph Curry has, or CarMax. They're constantly sponsoring NBA players and WNBA players. State Farm, to be your own.
It's another guy. They just put up Steph Curry. Another guy that no serious allegations. I've never heard of an allegation, any controversy coming from Steph Curry's camp. And you know what the correlation between LeBron and Curry is? Aside from multiple rings, they're both married. You know, LL Cool J says it best. I don't know which interview it was, but he was asked, like, you know, hey, like, we hear that, like, when you were on tour in your earlier rap career, like, you were always bringing your wife on tour with you. And he said, yeah. And they're like, oh, why is that? And then he goes, you know, because when my wife is with me, I'm not getting into trouble. Take it for what it's worth. Realistically, take it for what it's worth. If you're a guy that's like, I'm not easily influenced by, like, you know, other people, putting other voices in my head, then yeah, why not? But if you're a guy that's like, bro, yeah, I'm pretty susceptible. Woo! Can I say this word? I'm easily moved and motivated by instigators and agitators and just influencers. Then yeah, you should probably have somebody, whether it's a wife, your best friend, or a manager along with you to, like, help you make the best decision that's in your benefit. Because otherwise, you're going to end up like some of these NBA players when they go to clubs. I remember at one point the Denver Nuggets, especially when they had AI, J.R. Smith, Kenyon Martin, all on the same team, recipe for disaster. I don't know who was the coach during that time, but bro, it'd be oftentimes almost every other month that, like, yo, like, these guys would go out and it wouldn't end well. You'd wake up the next morning and these guys' names is in a news article. This is my message to other guys. Like, yo, unless you have somebody that is a Steph Curry or a LeBron in terms of maturity, stay away from clubs and bars. Seriously.
To be your own entity, to be your own business takes a special type of talent, because you can be the best basketball player of all time. That does not mean you're going to be an elite marketer. That does not mean you're going to be exceptionally marketable and grandmas want to pinch your cheeks and women want to sit in your lap and every dude wants to look like you. That's what the best basketball players, the most influential basketball players do for the NBA. So when you get guys that have that type of talent, like a LeBron, like a Steph, like a KD, like an Anthony Edwards, like a LaMelo Ball, you have to strike when the iron is.
Speaking of that, man, every one of us that's watching has known an awesome basketball player growing up. And I did as well. I knew somebody he was from South Sudan, and man, he could ball. He was, I think, 6'10", a solid 6'10", not 6'9". He's a solid 6'10", and he had a wingspan. I'm sure when he put his arms out, it was probably close to 7 foot, if not 7'1", maybe. But anyways, he wasn't marketable, just point blank period. And it wasn't anything about the way that he looked. It was more about like what he did off of the court. You know, I got to catch up with, because I was like, man, it's been a while. Let me catch up with this guy. And so I just researched. I just put in his name because I was like, he's got to be playing Euro ball somewhere else. No. Ask me if he's playing Euro ball. He's not playing European basketball. No. This guy is going through some tough things right now by his own actions. It goes back to what I'm saying. If you don't have somebody, even one person can make a difference. If you are somebody, again, that's easily influenced by the negativity in life, put somebody in your team that has a sober mind on a 24/7 basis. I hate to say it, but some of you guys, some men need to be babysat. If they have exceptional talent, whether it's sports, music, acting, modeling, even intellectuals, right? Like, let's say you're Neil deGrasse Tyson intelligent, and you're getting paid to like speak at colleges, speak at forums, speak at TED Talks. And you're just somebody that just loves the negativity of life. Dude, it only takes one time for you to mess up. It only takes one time for you to be in a situation. And now, boom, you're in a situation. Boom, now you're facing prison time. Boom, now you're facing brands that are ending your contract immediately. So no more brand money. Boom, now you're facing a whole controversy where all of your future meet and greets are canceled because people are scared of you. Don't do it, man. You know, you got to be marketable. And man, there's so many ways that you can being marketable isn't necessarily something that you're born with. You know, you can teach people to be marketable. Case in point, man, I got a few examples, but just know that, like, again, if you are exceptional at what you do, but you are easily influenced by outside influences, get yourself a sober person that's pretty stern, and that like knows like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be going out there at this time. You shouldn't be involving yourself with those individuals. Keep you on the right path.
Hot. How many 6'7" point guards are walking around here that can score 30 on any given night, shoot 40% from three, and can get 10 assists, and bagging Instagram models that's going to bring more attention to the league? There ain't that many of these dudes walking around. So when you get one, you got to pay them because they are exceptionally valuable to the league and they're exceptionally valuable to your franchise. And number 3, all this starts in youth basketball. I am not saying that you need to be thinking about this when you're training, thinking about making $100 million. If that's what motivates you and inspires you, go right ahead. I'm gonna tell you this right now, as somebody used to be inspired and motivated by money, when I finally got money, all the inspiration and motivation left because I accomplished the goal. And there's no such thing as a money goal because you're gonna need to keep making money for the rest of your life. So don't make money a goal. But if that's something that you wanna do, it starts early. Because this is why the Europeans have come over here and dominated. Jokic sees the type of money that he can make and he send it back home. Giannis, look at how he runs his business. He makes sure all of his brothers eat. Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. These are great international players who have captured so much of this American money and given it to their families, and rightfully so, because they earned it. But it started when they were exceptionally young. So when we look at this massive AAU shoe circuit basketball we have going on, Yes, it's a lot of mess, but that developmental system has put Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton and all these dudes who were making these super max for when they were eligible or rookie max extensions. They all came from that system. So if you're a coach of that system, you have responsibility. If you're a personal trainer in that system, you have responsibility. If you're a parent in that system, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to give these kids everything that you possibly can. You have a responsibility to pour into these kids at a level that no one else is, because you do not know where they're going to go or where they're going to end up. Because it's not just the salary of $100 million they're going to get. That young man's going to get that money when he's 25, 26 years old. There's an entire ecosystem that needs to be built around him. He needs a realtor. He needs a lawyer. He's going to need multiple doctors. He needs a nutritionist. He needs a dietitian. He needs a masseuse. He needs someone to clean his house. He needs someone to cut his grass. He needs someone to fix his cars. He needs a barber. He needs a stylist. He needs a brand manager. He needs a social media manager. He needs a video editor. He needs somebody to film him. He needs a publicist. He's going to need an entire ecosystem because he is a business that generates $100 million a year. You just heard Mark Cuban, who's one of the richest people in the world. He just said he doesn't make that in a year. And now we're going to be able to see $100 million salary going into somebody's Chase account.
He needs a DJ. He needs a DJ to continue to make playlists, workout playlists, chill out playlists, after workout playlists, pre-game playlists. If you're an NBA player and you're watching this, if you need a DJ to make those mixes for you, man, go ahead and reach out in the description box below. You know how to get a hold of me.
Of America, PNC. How many jobs in this country pay you $100 million salary? Not stock options, salary a year. Guaranteed, cash. I can't think of that many. Can you? I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true.
Easter Sunday, gotta call. My uncle's car and hit a wall. I didn't believe it, I still had sleep and crust on my eyes was still on. My cousin Nikki said it's all bad. She's a law school grad, she don't play that.
Man, what a video from one hell of a content creator, Dorian at Group82. Or I'm sorry, Coach Duck. My bad. Let me give you your respect. Coach Duck, what's going on? Yeah, what an awesome video. You know, it really exposing on what's to come from professional basketball here in the United States. Man, you know, the TV contracts is going to ante up everything. You know, not just the players' contracts are going to be increased, but guess what? Also, what else is going to be increased? The cost of tickets. You know, so if you live in a city like, you know, the closest ones that where I'm to is Minneapolis. I think Minneapolis is Minneapolis is definitely closer than OKC. So, and definitely closer than Chicago. So if you're in Minneapolis and you want to go to a Timberwolves game in the next 12 years, just know that whatever the cost of a Timberwolves ticket now is, it's about to increase. It's about to increase because maybe, just maybe, the $100 million player will come from Minnesota. You never know. And then also just expounding on what he said about like that person, that NBA player that has a $1 billion contract where he has $100 million a year salary. He'll need those people around him that he is going to be employing. The chef, the personal trainer, the caretaker, the assistant, the social media, and that assistant can handle just his social media and his phone calls and his emails. I mean, the list goes on. Maybe he wants to get a driver because, you know, maybe he's not going to want to drive anywhere. No, I mean, the list goes on. And of course, you know, a DJ, you know, every NBA player should have a DJ, especially at a high level like that. Cause you know, you want somebody to not only make mixes for you, but also like curate playlists and say like, hey, this is what's hot right now. This is the top 20 songs that I feel would be great for you. Let's just say his name is like Okello, right? Hey, Okello, these are the top 20 songs of November, you know, that I feel like, you know, you should listen to. And then you just give it to him. And anyways, so $100 million for, you know, for somebody that is going to be getting that, just know that like, if you know you're not an NBA player, there's a way that you can get in the NBA. And that's by being somebody that just surrounds themselves with those people. How awesome is that, man? You can just be a person that's just selling merchandise like t-shirts and you have a personal contract. Hell, I think there's somebody out of the Twin Cities that just cuts hair. Akimakwe, what's going on? You know, and look at that. Like, they're connected to the NBA. So, man, whatever it is, you're a mechanic. And let's say you're the personal mechanic for LeBron James or Steph Curry's vehicles. Because they're both in California. And let's say anytime that there's something wrong with their car, they call you. Ooh! Or you're the dentist. Let's say you're the personal dentist. The possibilities are endless, man. So whatever it is that you do, even if you think it's insignificant, don't. If you're a home inspector, imagine like you somehow get your number in like Jaylen Brown. What's that boy's name out of San Antonio? I'm forgetting, the lanky guy. Why am I forgetting his name? But you guys know the 7'3" phenom, right? You get his number and you're a home inspector. So every 6 months you go and inspect his home for termites, pest control, mice, bats. Aye! You know what kind of contract that is? All right, I might be getting ahead of myself, but something to think about. Because it just doesn't stop with just that person that's making $100 million a year. It can be you. You can get a little bit of that $100 million. And a little bit, I say a little bit, but imagine you just got a contract because you cut hair and that's worth $100,000. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button. Make it your best friend. With that being said, I'm Ochanda with another reaction video. Until next time.